Hello fashion lovers, you're welcome back to my channel. Trust you're good, trust you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to sew this 6 pieces 8 pieces blouse. So in the previous video, we learned how to draft the 6 pieces 8 pieces blouse. In the previous video, this tutorial is all about the sewing, the detailed sewing of this blouse. If it is something you want to learn, keep watching this video. If you are new here, you're highly welcome. This is GB Fashion World, where we learn pattern drafting, free and cutting and sewing as well. Kindly subscribe and turn the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. To all my subscribers and returning viewers, thank you for being here. Let's get started. To get started, you need to grab all your pattern paper. So I'm with all the patterns that we drafted in the previous video. As you can see, in the previous video we drafted the pattern for this. So this is the front part of this pattern. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. I'm going to be cutting each part in 2 pieces. So this is going to be in 2 pieces. You're going to add your sewing allowance on the shoulder armhole, on the neckline, and on the side. For the center front, you're not going to be adding any allowance on that zipper area because of the zipper allowance. So for this part, you're going to add all your necessary sewing allowance, and you're going to be cutting it in 2 pieces for each of them. So for the back part now, we are also going to be cutting in 2 pieces for each of them, and you're going to add all your necessary sewing allowance all around it. And for this part also, we're going to be cutting in 2 pieces, and you're going to be adding your necessary sewing allowance. For this collar, we are going to be cutting the center back unfold and then add the sewing allowance. These are what we are going to be needing for the sewing of this video. I have with me a crinoline of about 2 inches, like the width is 2 inches. I have my zipper, I have my lace net, I have my wadding for padding of the dress. I have an interfacing I'm going to be attaching both on the lining and on the main fabric. I have the lining and I also have the fabric. So these are the materials we are going to be making use of. So I've gone ahead to place this on the pattern, and I've added all my necessary sewing allowance. So I will go ahead and cut them out. So I've added all the necessary sewing allowance. I will go ahead and cut all the pattern out, like cut it on the fabric. So after I'm done cutting, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and notch all these parts, like the bust point, the under bust and the waist, so that it will be easier for me while joining the fabric together. So this is the lining and the interfacing. I'm also going to go ahead and cut out the lining, and I'm going to be attaching my interfacing on both the lining and on the fabric. That is on the wrong side of the lining and the wrong side of the fabric. I'm going to be attaching an interfacing. So this is what I have. I've cut out the lining as well. So I'll go ahead and add my interfacing on all of them. So as you can see, I've added the interfacing. You can see I've added the interfacing on the wrong side of the fabric and also on the lining. Did you see? I added my interfacing on all of them. So this is the back part, the center back. So I want to go ahead and join the center back, since we're not going to be adding the zipper on the back. So I'll go ahead and join the center back. So when I'm done joining the center back, I'll also join the side seam of the back. You want to also add the side seam of the back, just like what you see me do. So after that, this is the center front, where we're going to be adding our zipper. So we want to go ahead and add the zipper on the center front now. And once we are done, we also want to go ahead and attach the side seam of the front. Did you see? We want to also attach the side seam of the front. So I will take this to the sewing machine to join them. So for the side front, I went ahead to cut out a lace net for it. Did you see? So I'll go ahead and attach a lace net on the right side of my my fabric. Did you see? Only on the side, just to give it like a design. So just to give like a design, I went ahead to cut out a lace net, and I'm going to go ahead and sew them all around before joining to the side of the front. So the next thing is just for me to make a mark of how I want to attach my wadding, that is the padding. I'm going to be padding this, so I want to go ahead and mark on my pattern how I want the padding to be. So just like what you see me do, this is me trying to get like how the pad is going to be. So this is the zipper allowance. So this is how the pad is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and cut out my pad just the way I marked on the pattern. So you want to go ahead and trace it out like this. Did you see? Want to trace it out and then go ahead and cut it off. You also want to indicate which part is in, which part is touching the bust point, and the part that is going to be like the upper part and on the lower part. So you want to go ahead and trace out, and it's going to stop on the under bust, and then you go ahead and make an indication of which part is the upper part to avoid being confused. You want to go ahead and place this. You want to go ahead and place it on your fabric to iron it. So this is me trying to place it on my fabric. I can go ahead and get my pattern just to know the exact place to place this. When I'm done ironing the parts to the fabric, I'll go ahead and sew. So this is me on the sewing machine trying to sew the front parts now. So I want to go ahead and join the side seam of the front to the center front. So for me, I usually start from the under bust. So you want to pin the under bust line like this, and then from the under bust you sew from the under bust upward like this. So you sew from the under bust upward like this, and then from the under bust, once you are done sewing the upper part, from the under bust you want to sew it downward. Like from the under bust you sew it to the hem part of the dress. So that's basically how I join my armhole princess that bust here. So this is how you go ahead and sew it. Then you go ahead and notch on the under bust. So when you open it up, this is what we have. You can see how the cup has formed. So this is what we have. I'll go ahead and join the other parts. So when you are done joining, make sure to notch the under bust and the bust point. So by the time we open it up, this is what we have. So this is what we have for the front, the two fronts now, like the two fronts. I will go ahead and attach the zipper on the center front like this. Did you see that? So I'm done attaching the zipper. We want to go ahead and close it up. So you can see I've attached my zipper on the front parts now. So I'll go ahead and work on the back parts. This is what we have for the front. You want to go ahead and zip it up like this, and then I'll bring the back part now. Did you see? And then I'm going to join it on the side seam. So the side seam of the front and the side seam of the back. So you want to place the right side of the front facing the right side of the back, and then you go ahead and join them on the side seam by the side seam allowance that you have added. So after joining them, this is what I have. As you can see, is really full. Did you see that? Is very full. I'll also go ahead and sew the lining just the way I sewed the main fabric, and as you can see, I have sewn the lining. So I'm going to be using the lining now to close this up. So I will want to go ahead and place the right side of the lining facing the right side of the front of the fabric. So you want to place the lining, right side of the lining facing the right side of the fabric. That's on the down part now, and then you want to place your crinoline like this. So you want to go and join the three together. Did you see what I'm doing? You place the right side of the lining to the right side of the fabric on the down part and place your crinoline and sew on it. So when you are done sewing, this is what you are going to have. Did you see? I've gone ahead to attach the crinoline on it. So the next thing to do is to do a top stitch on the crinoline. So you want to open this up, then push your crinoline to the right, to the lining side like this. Did you see what I'm doing? Push the crinoline to the lining side with the sewing allowance and then top stitch on it. This is going to make this to relax more. Did you see? You want to go ahead and do it like this, sew on it to the very end. So when you are done, this is what you are going to have. The next thing is to work on the zipper allowance, because we want to achieve a good finishing on the zipper on this dress. So you want to place the lining, right side of the lining facing the right side of the fabric, and then you want to go ahead and sew it close to the zipper teeth, but not on the zipper teeth. Did you see? You want to go ahead and close that up. Did you see? You want to go ahead and close it up. So when you are done with that, you also want to place your lining like this and sew the shoulder of the lining. So you place the shoulder of the lining and sew. Also do the same for the other side. You also want to grab the shoulder of the main fabric and sew like this. So I'm using the pin to hold it down. After that, I will move over to the sewing machine and join them together. So as you can see, I'm done. So this is basically what I have. Did you see that? So I'll go ahead and turn it to the right side for you to see the result. So as you can see, I am done. I've turned it to the right side. So I turned it to the right side from the neckline. So basically this is what we have. You can see we are achieving a neat finishing on the inside. Now you can see the shoulder and how everywhere is being, finished neatly. So did you see that? So when you open it, this is what you have. Want to go ahead and close it up. The shoulder side is being, knitting very well. So this is what I have. The next thing is to work on the collar. Did you see? And then iron it out. So for the collar, we want to, you want to keep your interfacing in a bias fold like this. Did you see? You keep your interfacing on a bias fold. So I'm cutting on the interfacing first, then I'll go ahead and place it on my fabric. So you want to go ahead and cut on the biased fold. The reason why we're cutting on the biased fold is because it's a collar and you want it to relax well. So after cutting this, when we open it up, this is what we are going to have. Note I've not added the sewing allowance yet. So this is the collar itself. So I'm going to place it on my fabric and iron it on the fabric and add my sewing allowance to it. So I've gone ahead to, attach it on a fabric. So I'm going to be cutting it out, and as I'm cutting it out, I'm adding 0.25 sewing allowance all around it. Just the way you see me do, you add 0.25 inch sewing allowance all around it, and this collar is going to be cut in 2 pieces. So you also want to go ahead and cut it out and then sew on this part like this. Do you see? You want to go ahead and cut in 2 pieces and sew on the 2 parts. As you can see, it's on 2 parts. Did you see? It's on fold. So go ahead and join. So I've gone ahead to join the 2 parts of it on the upper part now. I've joined the 2 pieces to the 2 sides of the collar on the upper part. So I'll go ahead and trim off like this. Did you see? And then open it up like this. Did you see? I've opened it up. So this is what we have. So when you are done ironing the collar, you want to go and attach it on the fabric. So this is the final result of this video. So this is what I got after sewing. So you too can as well achieve this with the neat finishing. As you can see, it's very easy and simple. Just follow the steps that I used in this video and trust me, you are going to achieve a more better result than this. Thank you for watching to this very moment. See you in my next video. Till then, bye.